this country used to be, Afghanistan used to be a country in the 60s and early 70s where Westerners used to go on vacation. It was kind of like the pearl of the Middle East where people would go and visit. And you know, now it's basically a war-torn country through 30 years plus of war. So we were like, we just can't leave. We have to do something about it. A shitty pill to swallow when you get home and you see guys going through alcohol abuse and having hard times, and you know, I've even had crappy nights and crappy months and things like that, and you know, but it's one of those things you just kind of push through. But there's some guys that just can't get over it, and it's pretty sad to see guys get lost in the cracks. You know, they say all this brotherhood stuff, and when you're overseas and you need help, you can call any airstrike, you can call any backup you need. But when you come home and the smoke clears, no one's really there. So I was in an infantry unit. The first time was the 3rd Battalion Royal Canadian Regiment, and the second time it was the 1st Battalion Royal Canadian Regiment, where I was in charge of training the Afghan soldiers and basically going to war with them. There's some scary times, some good times, and you know, overall it was kind of how you expect it to be.
Is that incoming?
Incoming! RPG! RPG! Man on the roof, on the roof, on the roof! Where? 11 o'clock! 11 o'clock! They're running, over there. See them?
You got people on the roof who are 11 o'clock.
It'd have to be sometime in March 2009. It was kind of a day to go down in history. We were on an operation. Like I said, we did a lot of 4 or 5 day long operations. We were on our last day. We were supposed to get helicoptered out at like 5 in the morning, and our wise and genius commanding officer decided that we didn't need a helicopter ride out. We could hump it out ourselves. So we started walking, and one of my buddies hit an IED, an improvised explosive device, and took him, one of my other buddies, killed them both instantly, killed one of our interpreters, and maimed our major, who was the officer in charge of that unit, along with a couple other guys. So that was pretty much the craziest thing that happened, and it required a lot of us to help the casualties, which then, as the helicopters and medevacs came in, we sustained ground fire and got in an ambush basically with the Taliban, and it just turned into a big Wild West shooting match. And yeah, it's pretty much one of the big stories that a lot of us talk about is excuse me, how things like that kind of shape your life and shape who you are. And gives you an appreciation for life, and you know, to live your life to the fullest. Kind of makes you just want to just live and exist. And like I said, one of those guys, he had a daughter. She was only 2 weeks old when we left overseas, and she's now 7 years old and has never met her father at all. My buddy Tony Reed, he was overseas on our first tour. He was doing what I did on my second tour, training the Afghan military. And he served all of his time. I got a phone call while I was in my car with Danielle, my wife, and my boss at the time said, where are you? I said, I'm driving. She's like, can you pull over? And she's like, I was like, yeah. And I pulled over. We were back home, and you know, she's like, you know, Tony killed himself last night. So that was kind of a hard pill to swallow when you're just talking to your buddy about the same thing. A couple days earlier, tell him to not. So when people are always like, oh, you're always doing hobbies and everything, I'm like, yeah, because one day we're gonna die. And I've seen a lot of young guys our age, 23, 24, guys that still had lives to live that don't have it anymore. You know, the war's not done when you're at home. So I consider like I said, I consider myself one of the lucky ones, and like I say, I look at life just living life to the fullest.